Hey, house guests. Welcome to today's BBCan 10 updates and spoilers. Happy Eviction Day. One of the last ones. Isn't it wild? But anyway, I want to welcome you all. Thank you for being here. Our house guests of the day are David Klein, Christine Sandusky, Mario and Maria Mazzone, and Erica Burka. Thank you all so much for the support. We could not do this without you, and we appreciate it so much. For real. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Yay! I also want to thank our super chatters from yesterday because that's a fantastic way to support our channel. Jefferson Tucker, Samuel Johnson, and the CAC 16. Thank you all so much. And Jefferson's back. Jefferson says, Kevin did say he wanted to keep the last week of feeds entertaining. Right? But good grief, Charlie Brown. Seriously, this week has been a lot. But thank you for the constant support, Jefferson. We really do appreciate that. Let's get started. When we left off yesterday, it was Waffle Wednesday. Kevin and Helena have been trying to decide if they're going to be evicting Josh or JC Lynn tonight. And the flip-flopping this week has been extra. I'm really tired. I'm not going to lie. It's been a lot. But here we are, right? So by the end of yesterday's spoiler, Kevin and Helena seem set on keeping JC Lynn. I gotta say, JC Lynn was doing a really good job campaigning, especially compared to Josh's zero campaigning. He was really taking it easy for a few days. So in her campaign, JC Lynn was pushing how close Josh and Betty are, saying that they would definitely take each other to the end, or if Kevin or Helena were at the end with Josh or Betty, Josh and Betty would get a lot of votes against them. So, but JC Lynn was also pushing that she wants a final 3 with Kevin and Helena and a final 2 with Kevin. So they like the sound of that. But anyway, Kevin and Helena both let Betty know that they were leaning towards keeping JC Lynn. And Betty was pissed in private. With Kevin and Helena, she was business B. She's acting like she's cool with either Josh or JC Lynn going, but she doesn't want Josh to go. She's trying to play it cool. So we also saw yesterday, Betty tearfully let Josh know that it's not looking great and he could be going. She felt like it was her fault. I mean, she did put him up on the block, but like he also put her up on the block. Josh wasn't really doing himself any favors by not trying. But yeah, Josh told Betty, don't worry, I'm going to campaign to Kevin and Helena, mostly Helena, because he feels like he'd have more of a chance getting her vote. Okay, so yeah, yesterday was a roller coaster ride for Betty. She was crying for Josh, thinking that he was going to be leaving. And then she found out in the diary room that she won $1,000 from winners. It was another viewer vote for the winning moment from last week. And she actually beat out Josh. It was Betty's POV win versus Josh's triple eviction HOH win. I mean, how can you top Betty being like, Marty, I'm not going anywhere? So she won and she was very excited. But anyway, back to the game. Josh finally started campaigning yesterday evening. And he pulls Helena aside to chat in the red bedroom. And Josh says, we're at the point in the game where you have to do what's best for you. And I feel like I'm better for your game than JC Lynn is. And I'm not necessarily better for everyone's game, but I'm definitely better for your game, Helena. So Josh says JC Lynn has won way more competitions than I have, and I've played in a bunch more than her. So like I had more opportunity to win, and I did not. Plus, JC Lynn performs really well under pressure. She saved herself during the double eviction. She won the veto during the triple eviction. So she's really good under pressure. I'm sure it's that figure skating background that helps, right? So Josh tells Helena, you're always safe with me. You are not expendable to me. Expendable is the word that I was trying to think of during the recap last night, and I couldn't. But yeah, he says, you're not expendable to me. And Helena acknowledges, yeah, you have had my back for sure. I mean, hello, triple eviction when Josh put Betty up on the block in order to keep Helena safe. That was wild. So Josh is asking Helena, where are you at right now with this vote? What are you thinking? So Helena is pretty honest here. She admits that she has been thinking about both options. She's been looking at the pros and cons, and she says, Josh, I think you would do the same thing if you were in my shoes. So Josh is asking, is there anything in particular that JC Lynn said during her campaigning that is really resonating with you? And Helena's like, well, I'm kind of nervous that if you stick around, you might choose Betty and Kevin over me. She also feels like she has a little bit of a better chance to beat JC Lynn in these final competitions and in the final two. I don't know about that. I don't know. But Josh says, did I say Josh? Josh says, I think if JC Lynn sits next to anyone at the end, she's going to win. So, like, you really don't want to go to the end with JC Lynn. She was in a showmance. She had to fight to get here. You know, she saved herself a bunch of times. So Josh says, if the final four is the two of us with Kevin and Betty, you're going to be guaranteed a spot in the final three, whether you win your way there yourself or what, because none of us are going to be taking you out next week, you know? Josh also says, I think my relationships with the jury are also being overestimated. I backstabbed a bunch of people. I have a lot of blood on my hands, which honestly, if you think about it, is true because so many people left this house disappointed in Josh. They thought that Josh was, you know, their number one or at least really high up on their list. And then when they find out that Josh is not voting for them to stay, they're like, what's that all about? So he definitely has a point there. I don't know how bitter this jury is going to be, but we'll see. So then the feeds went down while the episode was airing. So we didn't get to hear the rest of that conversation, which is a bummer because I'm really curious what else Josh was saying in this campaign. But after the episode, Josh and Kevin are chatting in the red bedroom. And Kevin says, I feel like I'm going to lose in most final two scenarios. Like, he doesn't really see himself winning at this point. That's what he's saying anyway. And he tells Josh, I think you're not really as big of a jury threat as I thought you were before. You know, that triple eviction was kind of damaging to, Josh's standing with the jury. So Kevin says, I think Helena is back to wanting to keep you now. Like, what did you say to her? What's going on there? So Josh is like, well, JC Lynn needs to go. Everyone in the jury hates me because they thought that I had a final two with them. He did have a bunch of final twos. So Josh asks Kevin, where are you at? What are you thinking with this vote? So Kevin, I have to say, was in a very goofy mood during this conversation. Like, he's giggling a bunch, guffawing at times. It was a lot, even for Kevin. So Kevin's like, I'd like to lose to you. He says he believes that Josh would take him all the way to the end. He believes Josh when he says that. And Josh confirms, yes, he would take Kevin to the final two. I'm pretty sure Josh has promised Helena and also Betty that. So, like, there's no telling what Josh would actually do if that decision was up to him. But Josh says the only person that Kevin might have a chance of beating in the final two right now is Josh. He says, you know, your game has been really under the radar. People don't know all your moves. So if you're up against me, maybe you'll have a chance. But Josh is also asking, like, what's the point of keeping JC Lynn? You know, how does that benefit you? And Kevin says, JC Lynn's been mean to people. You know, maybe the jury won't want to vote for her for that reason. But Kevin also says, you know, JC Lynn has Gino advocating for her in the jury house, and everyone loves Gino. He's this alpha male. So he has a lot to consider with this vote. Kevin, again, is just cracking up, laughing hysterically during this conversation. And Josh is like, you're just getting cuter every second. Josh, So Kevin, again, is acting like he has no chance to win. He's really downplaying his game. This conversation was weird AF. I have to throw that out there. It was very, very bizarre to watch. But Kevin's asking Josh, say it comes down to the two of us in the final part of the final HOH competition, would you throw it to me knowing that I would pick you for the final two? Oh my God. So he's telling Josh, if you don't win that final HOH competition, you wouldn't have to make the big choice that could possibly upset somebody. So Josh is like, you're the only one who's sick enough to think of that. And he's like, how fun do you want to make this? Oh my God. Josh didn't really answer this question, though. I would hope he wouldn't throw any of the remaining competitions because that's just insane, but especially not that one. But Josh is asking Kevin, so you're keeping me? And Kevin's like, I think so, but I didn't talk to Helena yet. So Josh screams into a pillow. I have to imagine this conversation must have been very, very frustrating for Josh. He's in this Crash Test Dummies alliance with Kevin and Helena, and he's having to campaign for this vote right now, which, of course you got to campaign. You have to campaign. But the energy that he's getting from Kevin in this conversation is just so extra. It's a lot. So then Helena joins them, and Kevin asks Josh, what do you think about throwing this next HOH competition to me or Helena? The final four HOH, because it's only going to be the three of them competing. So they play bicker back and forth about who's going to win this HOH. And eventually Josh is like, all right, let's circle back to this. Can we please keep me? And to make a long story short, because this conversation went on for a very long time and it was weird, Kevin and Helena decide, or at least they say to Josh, yeah, we're gonna keep you. And Josh is talking like he is going to throw this next HOH competition. That part can't be real though, right? He's not actually gonna throw those because that would be wild. But after that combo was over, Helena and Kevin chat alone, and Helena asks Kevin, what is going on? What is happening right now? So Kevin's like, I'm down to keep Josh. Kevin thinks that Josh is actually on board to throw this next HOH competition. And Helena says, yeah, I believe it too. And then, it's going to come down to that POV. Whoever wins that is going to decide who is casting the sole vote to evict this week. So Kevin says, if Josh wins the power of veto, he will remain loyal to us. He will vote out Betty. I don't know. If Betty wins, she will cut Josh. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't think that's true. But Kevin and Helena seem to be convinced that would actually happen. And Kevin says if one of us wins, we'll make that decision. We'll figure it out. So Kevin and Helena shake again on keeping Josh. They've had multiple handshakes about what they're going to do this week. And a few of them have been lies. But now they're saying, no, we're keeping Josh. Helena feels great about this move because she was going to feel like dog doo-doo if they turned on Josh after working so closely with him. So Helena says, all right, we've made our decision. We need to tell JC Lynn tonight because that's what JC Lynn has been asking for. She's been saying, no matter what you decide, I want to know by the end of the night. I want to know. So Kevin's like, okay. So then Kevin also gives Helena a heads up that he has been telling Josh that he wants to go to the final two with him because he's hoping that Josh will throw the last HOH if he believes that that's true. But Kevin tells Helena, I actually want to go to the final two with you. And I think that is true because Kevin, I think, feels that he has the best chance to win against Helena at this point. All right, so a little later, Helena has a quick check-in with Betty, and she lets Betty know that now she wants to keep Josh. And Betty immediately perks up upon hearing this. She's like, are you sure? Is that what you guys decided? Is this real? Should I actually get excited about this, or is this going to fall through? So Betty says she thinks it is the logical move to keep Josh. I mean, for her, absolutely, right? But Helena says, yeah, I was thinking about it, and I feel like I can beat Josh in competitions. I need to believe in myself. I can do this. So Betty agrees. She says Josh and JC Lynn are equally good in competitions. So why not keep the good one over the evil one. Damn, the evil one. So a few minutes later, Kevin gets his turn to talk to Betty in the beach room. And Kevin's like, you want to keep Josh, right? And Betty says, I think it's smart, but I am open to whatever you and Helena think is best. Business be in action. So Kevin's like, all right, let's do it. Betty's like, you want to keep Josh? She's excited. So Kevin confirms, yes, he feels like JC Lynn's campaign really got to him. He feels like maybe he was a little emotionally manipulated by JC Lynn. But he says this is another example of me mismanaging a jury member. So feel free to take me to the end because the jury's going to hate me. So Kevin's like, all right, we still have 2 more chances to take out Josh. Like, we can't let him get to the end. Betty says 100%. She swears on everything she loves that she would vote out Josh if she wins the power veto next week. Again, I don't know about that. I really don't. I don't know about that. So, anyway, Helena comes in, and the 3 of them are all talking about, saving Josh this week and then cutting him before Final 3. And I believe they actually have a name for their Final 3 deal. They call themselves like Group 3, I believe. Helena again brings up, we got to tell JC Lynn before bed that we're voting her out. Okay, so later, around midnight, JC Lynn is alone in the purple bedroom, and she's crying. Kevin comes in, and JC Lynn's like, I'm just having a moment. She's feeling emotional out of nowhere. I don't think it's out of nowhere, but Kevin is like, all right, I'm going to give you a moment. He feels really awkward in situations like this. He's going to go. So after Kevin leaves, JC Lynn's like, oh, so annoying. She says, just string me along, eh, buddy? Just tell me if you're voting for me to stay or to go. So annoying. I hate everyone. So she's really wanting to know what's happening here. So her wish has been granted. Kevin returns a few minutes later with Helena, and they let JC Lynn know they've been going back and forth on this decision this week. Don't we know it? And they say JC Lynn made some really valid points in her campaigning, but they will be keeping Josh. So Kevin tells JC Lynn, you're just really, really good at this. You've had 3 of the sickest wins he's ever seen this season. And he says, I think you could win the rest of the competitions and beat anyone in the final 2. And Helena adds in there, like, you're such a badass, you're a strong woman, but she feels like she has a better chance of beating Josh. So JC Lynn's just like, okay, I appreciate you at least being honest and letting me know. And she's like, I don't really have anything to say at this point. And then she has things to say. She says, that sucks. Like, I don't understand it personally. You're telling me you're still cool with Josh and Betty being here together in this game. And Helena's like, no, I'm not cool with it. Kevin says he's cool with whatever happens from here on out, right? He's made it really far. Whatever happens, happens. So Helena's repeating again, like, she feels like she has a better chance against Josh. That's just what it comes down to here. So JC Lynn says, it's a lot to take in. I don't really have anything else to say. All right. Later, JC Lynn and Helena are both getting ready for bed in the bathroom, and JC Lynn expresses how she really feels. So she tells Helena, look, you don't have to apologize for your decision or anything like that, but I just think that you go above and beyond sometimes to make people think that you feel a certain way about something when that's not actually the case at all. And JC Lynn says, that's not something I can respect. I don't think you had to string me along the way that you did, telling me that you think that I'm better for your game. And Helena says, okay, I get that. I get what you're saying. But I did genuinely think that you were better for my game. So JC Lynn's like, well, Josh and Betty are really good. That's exactly why they're going to win. And JC Lynn says, I feel like you've never actually been an ally for me this whole entire game. I wish you would have been more honest with me. And she keeps saying, like, I don't respect the way that you played this game. Oof, sounds like Helena's not getting a jury vote from JC Lynn. But Helena says, I really respect your opinion, even though it wasn't like that. But I feel like anything I say right now, like, you're not going to be happy about it. So that was that. All right. So then the feeds were down all day today for the eviction. It seems pretty set now, for real this time, that JC Lynn will be leaving tonight by a vote of 2-0. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. The live feeds are likely going to be shutting down for the season on Saturday before the next eviction. They usually do it on Saturday afternoon. But we don't get to find out who is evicted until like Monday. So anyway, we've got the BBCan. Hi!
Oh, hi.
Hello! We've got the BBCan Awards coming up.
Oh, the
Thank
BBCans.
Let's not forget.
The Can-Cans.
Yes, let's not forget about that countdown door.
That might have something to do with tonight's HOH.
I mean, that countdown's going to be running out, I think, tonight at some point. So I don't know what's back there. I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon. We've got the Final Four HOH competition, the Final Four veto. It's going to be wild. Yeah, so let me know who you're all rooting for going into this end game here. It's going to be wild. I don't know. BB asks, what about a 4-4 jury vote? That's a really good question. I've been wondering if they're going to give Canada a jury vote, or maybe it's going to be a final 3. I don't know. I'm really curious to see too. Who knows? But thank you all so much for watching. We will be back tonight for our eviction episode recap.
Maybe they'll let you pick the winner.
Me? Nah, they don't know who I am.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, thank you all for being here. We will see you later.
Did you read the...
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. I'm dumb.
Jeez.
I'm just so hyped up about this endgame.
You're all amped up.
Yeah, it could be cancel a vote. Who knows? But I do want to thank today's super chatters because you guys are amazing. Is this the wrong day?
I gave you
This
a
is the wrong book. I was going to say, this is not the right day. Okay. Super chatters. Jefferson Tucker, thank you so much as always. Mark Dean, thank you so much. And Mark says, woo! Rachel Galbraith, thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate it. And Nick Petrella, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, after the season is over, will you guys do your weekly Thursday night streams? Thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for watching. And I believe we will be doing our Thursday night streams. Absolutely. So
I can't wait to talk to you guys.
Yeah, looking forward to that. It's been a long time.
It has been a long time.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. And now I am actually going to go. So we'll see you later. Thank you all so much for being here. And until next time, much love. Bye, everybody. Yeah, Bowie. Bye.